Hi, family. Hi, family. I am Dr. Mo, and I am your favorite colon hydrotherapist. And I'm also the Director of Education and Professional Ethics and Standards for the Global Professional Association for Colon Therapy and Therapists. This conversation is going to be about the words of empowerment and receiving words of empowerment, whether it's in text form, audio form. Those are the two forms, written or audio, right? So oftentimes when I am posting videos, of course you are posting videos to have dialogue with your audience, right? And so people will leave comments. And so I will go in and respond to the comments. Always, people ask a very specific question about their journey. For instance, I have ovarian cancer. I was told that I shouldn't eat grapefruit. Should I eat grapefruit? Just like a random comment, and I just go, this is why you're in this situation, is because you are not sitting down to speak with someone in the privacy and the intimacy of you and that person. You're just going off of random recommendations. So I always start with this. Number one, I want to remind you that you can do anything you want to do for your body. You do not have to wait for permission from me or from anybody else on the planet, including a person in a white jacket. Now, with that being said, I cannot give you single advice on your journey without sitting down with you in a confirmed consultation where you give me permission to guide you. And that's on the form after you sign. So when you're ready to do that, here's the link to do that in a formal container where you are educated and guided to wellness and well-being. So people will respond, well, I know it's my body, and I can do what I want to do, and I don't need you to tell me, rah. And I always look at the comment and I go, there is nothing in my response that will trigger you outside of words of empowerment. This is what I want to share with you over the last 20 years of me, or the 20 years of me being in business. This has been the common denominator, is that people are unable to accept words of empowerment. They are unable. They will fight you. They will stop you in your tracks. Like, for instance, I address my clients as king or queen. Do you know I have people who turn around and go, what'd you say to me? I called you king and then I said ... However, I will call you by your first name. It is not a problem. And people start back. It's okay. It's okay. I understand that the world has been heavy on you and you don't know my get down. I will always see you in the highest version of you, even when you don't. Even when you won't accept words of encouragement and empowerment about yourself, that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. My lens will always see you as the highest point, regardless if you accept it or not, player. That's something that you have to work out. And then people go, oh my God, like how you do it often. You do it often. And that's something that you might want to look at. So as a practitioner, you cannot get upset when people don't receive what you are giving them. Love, That's why they're a client. They're unaware. Your job as a practitioner is to bring gentle awareness so that the person can make the necessary changes to step into their highest versions of themselves. You can't get caught up in it and be like, well, and then you both start going at it. Who's the practitioner? Who's the leader? Who's the guide? If you find yourself as a practitioner constantly caught up in feeling overwhelmed, overlooked, misunderstood, not heard, dismissed, etc., etc., I want you to look at how are you talking to yourself? How are you giving yourself words of encouragement and empowerment? In order for me to verbally guide you with those type of words, I have to repeat them to myself often. I have to read them often. I have to listen to them being spoken often. So I'm reading books that use the same language. I'm watching movies that use the same language. I'm listening to frequencies that use the same language. I'm listening to music that uses it. You see where I'm going with it? I dress the same way that uses the same language so that I can be the language I'm trying to convey to my clients. You have to be where you are serving. And on the flip side of that, you're going to get pushback. That's the game. That's why you're a practitioner. Your job is to wake people up, to bring awareness to what they're doing so that they can stop hurting themselves and start living the life God wants them to live. But you can't be in your stuff and in your mess and all discombobulated because they're not receiving what you're laying down. Love. It's not for you to make sure they get it. It is for you to make sure you do it. Period. That's your only role. In the 20 years I have been in business, I have learned that people will fight to be disorganized. People will fight to be out of alignment and to stay out of alignment. People will fight to keep that pain going. All you can do is continue to use words of encouragement, words of empowerment, words of alignment, be the light that you are, and continue to shine bright regardless of what and who is accepting you. What are you doing? How are you showing up? How are you displaying unconditional love? Love is a word and an experience that is thrown around on a regular basis. Let me tell you. People always say, oh, I love you, Mo, I love you, Mo, I love you, Mo. And I get it. I love you too, unconditionally. And they go, wait, what? And sometimes I know that depth is not always needed. And as a practitioner, I know when I can go deep and when I need to be pulling back. Oftentimes, I like to stay deep. I like to just always be in the deep end. I grew up, my parents have a home in Linwood, and we had well, we still do. Well, they still do. It's not my home. Have an Olympic-sized pool in the backyard. So I grew up with an Olympic-sized pool. So I'm doing laps at 5, right? Literally laps and cannonballs off the diving board. I did cannonballs when I was pregnant with Franklin. That could explain a whole lot, but we'll talk about that later. I mean, I'm an excellent swimmer, right? Excellent swimmer. I was always in the deep end. I would always drop those rings and the pipes that you drop down, and then you play a game and you get them, and then you can go through the little maze underwater and everything. Yeah, that was me. I was the mermaid. I never got out the water. My father would be barbecuing in the backyard. I would literally eat my hot dogs in the pool. My father was like, you got to get out. And I was like, I ain't getting out. And he was like, I would allow you to sit on the steps in the pool, but you cannot be in the deep end treading water trying to eat a hot dog. Like, no. Sit on the stairs, eat your food, sit there for the 20, 35 minutes, then you can go back to the deep end. So I was always like diving, always. And my father was like, what is wrong with her? And it got to the point where my skin would be so wrinkled, it will stay wrinkled for like 3 days after I would get out the pool. That's how bad it was. So I have no problem staying in the deep end. I have no problem having those difficult, quote unquote, difficult conversations. I find it very peaceful, actually, very clarifying. So if you need any assistance with being clear, with sharing words of empowerment and actually standing behind it, because I guarantee you most people will buck back. Most people will not absorb your words of empowerment. They will question you. They will question your authority. They will question your authenticity. They will be like, you don't even believe that. A lot happens when you start affirming people. So many triggers pop up. I can say something as simple as, or ask. This is a question that I ask everybody. I ask this question all day long. How's your heart space? That question fucks people up. Excuse my French. It like does them like that. They go, wait, what? Because they were not ready to hear that. What they were ready to hear was, how's your day? How's your day going? How are you? How was your weekend? Nobody is asked, how is your heart space? That requires you to drop in and assess. People don't like to assess themselves. So the person on the other end receiving that question will either get annoyed or intrigued. How you lead the person will determine how good of a practitioner you are. That's where I come in. If you would like to be guided in this wonderful skill set, definitely reach out. You can work with me in 2 ways. One is one-on-one mentorship for 3 months, or you can train with me to become a colon therapist or a wellness practitioner. My information is 562-682-0818, and I will link all the websites in the text, what do you call that little box at the bottom that you put all of your text in? I'm going to put the information there so that you can have it. Reach out to me. It would be an honor to be of service to you. Stay magical.